Okay. I don't know what that is. So, I am back, and probably not better than ever. God, I really hope the audio quality on this is going to be good. If it's not, I really don't care, but for this in particular, I would like it to be, you know? Because there's not really a battle to watch and analyze, you know, when I go back through these. It's just, you know, me talking, so I hope it turns out good. I really do. Yeah, but, yeah, you fucking read the title and thumbnail. Genius. Season 2. Very cool. This season's gonna be a lot harder. There's a lot more competent draft league players. There's 2 divisions. You know, one is they're separated by skill, and I'm in the higher division, so there's a lot of really strong players in the league, myself not included. So, but I think this time around I have a better draft, so I think that should help out a lot. Because, you know, one of the reasons I think I didn't do so well last league was because my draft was just really bad. I would say it was hands down the worst of the league. But now, you know, I think I have a lot better of a core, you know, a lot better mons to pick from, and mons that just work better in a draft setting. So, yeah, well, I guess I've already spoiled the first, like, 5. There's no real good way to do this, but, yeah, I guess you can already see the first couple. But, yeah, my first pick was Gliscor, which, some people were happy about. Some people were happier about than others. I'm not doing it to, like, you know, like, set up a bunch of spikes in Toxic Stall or whatever, like, be lame. I just think Gliscor, the reason I picked up Gliscor so early, and let it be known, I was 8th out of 12 in the draft, so, you know, my first pick definitely wasn't, like, I wasn't going to be getting anything too insane, although Gliscor is really good if you ask me, but, I mean, you know, obviously these stats speak for themselves, you know, poison heal, whatever. But, I mean, Gliscor's toolkit is just so unique, and it does things that really no other Pokemon can. You know, you want a spike setter, you want a knockoff user, you know, you want a status absorber, you want an electric immunity, you want a ground immunity, you want something to live fucking everything, you want a defogger. Like, this thing just fills so many roles that other Pokemon would kill to be able to do. And, you know, obviously there's the combination of Toxic plus Earthquake. You know, Steel type or Poison type switches in, it gets hit with a Ground type move, and it obviously doesn't want to take it, right? I definitely have some interesting ideas with this. It's also worth noting that this is an Nadex draft league, hence why I have Mega Scizor. But we'll get there. So that means, you know, Gliscor has Defog, and yeah, it gets Roost, along with all the other cool things that made it very awesome. But yeah, I don't really need to explain too much about Gliscor, but I mean, come on. It's... as far as first round picks go, it's a bit unconventional, and I did know that. Like, I had that in mind. It's like, yeah, there are better first round picks, but my rationale was, okay, Gliscor can be so valuable on a team, and it can be so good, potentially, that it's not worth running the risk of someone else taking it, you know, even if that's not super likely. So I just didn't want to risk it. I picked up Gliscor, and I think it's a really solid slot for the team. I think it's got a lot of promise. Perhaps that goes without saying, but whatever. So yeah, my mega slot is Scizor, I was debating between this and like Mega Mawile, but I think Scizor, one, its defensive utility is far better, and it also has a, it doesn't really have a better ability, but I mean, you could argue Mega Mawile is better. I wouldn't necessarily disagree, but yeah. I mean, I would have been happy with either, but I went with Mega Scizor just for priority, and like, yeah, Mega Mawile gets Sucker Punch, but at the end of the day, your opponent needs to attack for that to happen. You know, Bullet Punch is just like, yeah, no nonsense, I'm going to be hitting you, right? You know, simple as that. You know, it also boasts a good amount of stab. It's got recovery, which Mawile doesn't. It's got defog. These first 3 picks, I'm just now thinking about this, all have defog and some form of recovery. Rotom, not so reliable, but yeah, you know, I mean, superpower, obviously U-turn is insane, right? It gets Pursuit, because that's allowed, which is really cool. Like, Technician Pursuit, like, hell yeah, right? Knockoff isn't boosted, but that's always nice to have if you need it. You know, Bullet Punch, Dual Wing Beat, Aerial Ace, right? Just a lot of really solid options. Wait, Dual Wing Beat. Yeah, Aerial Ace is stronger after Technician. Right? No, Dual Wing Beat is stronger. Yeah, okay. But whatever. You know, close combat, right? Yeah, I just really like a lot of the ideas here. And it can just switch into so many things. Like, I mean, talk about physical bulk, right? 70 HP, who cares, right? You run max attack, max HP. You know, already, like, look at this. You know, some bulky mons would kill to have this physical bulk, you know, without even trying, no less, right? But yeah. Mega Scizor, that's my Mega slot. I think you can technically have multiple Megas, but it's really not worth it. It's really not. It is also worth noting that I have to bring it with the Mega Stone. I can't just bring, like, regular Scizor. I can't do that. And I guess I could lie about, like oh, my Scizor's, like, whatever, it's like, it's Choice Scarf, but I didn't Mega Evolve it, but it has the Mega Stone, I swear, but like, or like, not Choice Scarf, I don't know. But hey, that's part of the point of this channel, hold myself accountable, yippee. But yeah, Gliscor, Mega Scizor, really solid so far, cover a lot of each other's weaknesses, you know, really just put in a lot of work, and yeah, so from here I kind of wanted like a nice Volturn core, as well as something that could resist, you know, ice and water for like Gliscor, and then fire for Scizor, and then hey, Rotom Wash, not just because it's a team mascot, but I mean, hey, it's pretty cool, but yeah, I mean, Rotom Wash is just generally really versatile, and after seeing what it could do in the last draft league, I thought it'd be really nice if I could pick it up for my own, and I ended up being able to get it. So, I mean, Rotom leaves a lot of room for creativity, especially when it has all of its moves, you know, with it having Pain Split and Defog now. Yeah, it's got Defog. I was like, where is it? Right. Hidden Power is banned, that's worth noting. Hidden Power and Z moves are both banned, so I can't like run, I don't know, like HP Grass to deal with Gastrodon or whatever. I can't do that. But yeah, you know, I get Toxic back, right? Just really useful overall. I didn't know this thing got Sucker Punch, if I'm being 100% honest. But yeah, so really solid mon, A lot of options, you know. This stat spread is just a blank canvas, waiting to be drawn upon. You know, it's just, there's a lot of potential in these first 3 picks, and that's what I like. You know, I don't have to lock into a certain like playstyle. I can. There's a lot of options. It's flexible, right? And that's kind of what I wanted when I picked up Iron Valiant last draft. But then I learned it was bad, and I also proceeded to draft really poorly after picking up Iron Valiant. But here, there's a lot of flexibility, really nice core. There is no shared weakness, right? You know, they all get pivoting moves, they all get defog, they all get some sort of recovery. I think this is a really solid core that works really well together. So at this point, I was kind of looking for, you know, something with more immediate power. Not that Scizor isn't, you know, powerful. I mean, far from it. But, you know, this is where Dugtrio comes into play. Now, Arena Trap is actually allowed. Personally, if it were up to me, I wouldn't allow it. But Brady has allowed it this league, so I'm going to take advantage of that. So Dugtrio, right? Obviously a great revenge killer. Really hard. I mean, I don't think people realize just how insane like Arena Trap revenge killing is. You know, even with Team Preview, right? In ADV, it's like, you know, do you kill this? Do you kill the Skarmory and with your Magneton and risk being trapped by Dugtrio? You know, right? You know, that's just an example. Like, you know, I revenge kill you for basically free, right? If the right Pokemon kills Gliscor, right? Or sorry, Scizor. Like, say a Fire type kills Scizor, well, now I have the Dugtrio, and you can't do much about that, right? Yeah, I mean, say you have, you know, electric type kill. Ooh. Say you have an electric type, you know, Thunderbolt Rotom, right? If it's at low health, there's Dugtrio, right? Obviously, it's sad to leave a lot to be desired, but I think Arena Trap will carry it far.
Surprise!
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Mood Pool isn't the most impressive. I'll probably be. Honestly, I'm probably just gonna bring Choice Band if I ever, you know, whenever I bring this. Like, I'm not gonna run Hone Claws. When am I ever gonna get to set up? I don't know. Maybe I could run like I might be able to make Banded Pursuit work. I don't know. There's some ideas, but you know, by and large, I just revenge kill shit, and it's gonna be really cool. And hey, if it doesn't work, I can trade it for something else for, I think, the first 5 weeks if we're doing it the same way we did last league. But yeah. So my next Mon is Tentacruel, which is my Terra Captain, and as it is cut off here, my Terra types are Water, Fairy, and Grass, and I'm gonna get a drink of water. My throat is... I'm rather parched. I'm rather parched. But yeah, Water, Fairy, Grass. Basically how the Terra types work. How Terra Captains work in this league. Any Mon that is worth less than 10 points can Terrastallize, and you get 2 Terra Captains per team. And the rules for which Terra types are, you have to have 1 Stab type and then 2 of your choice. And by 2 of your choice, I mean you can also go for the second Stab if you really want to. Like, I could go Water and Poison Terra if I really wanted to, but my IQ is above room temperature, so I'm not going to be doing that. God fucking damn it. My IQ is above room temperature, so I'm not going to be doing that. But yeah, so that's how Terra works. But Tentacruel. Oh, baby. Tentacruel. This thing is fucking awesome. Alright. I wanted to use this last draft league, but it wasn't in the game, and I was really sad. So I picked it up now because Tentacruel is super baller. I mean, what's not to love? Amazing typing. You know, grounded poisons are generally very highly valued in draft. You know, Liquid Ooze for some ideas there. Rain Dish. I think someone has a Rain team in my division. I know someone has it in the lower division. I don't know if someone has it in the higher division. I'll have to check that. I want to say... I know someone has a Sun team. I don't know if anyone has a Rain team. I swear someone picked up Pelipper or something. But, yeah. You know, amazing... You know, special bulk, you know, gets access to, you know, knockoff, rapid spin, you know, toxic T-spikes, rapid spin. I don't know if I already said rapid spin. Skull because, you know, broken. It gets flip turned, which is awesome. You know, haze. Just a lot of really cool options on Smon. A lot of room for creativity here. You know, I think Terra Fairy could be pretty cool in some matchups. But yeah, really solid mod. You know, I only picked it up for 9 points. In my opinion, that was a steal, but hey, I'm gonna try and make it put in the best of work. But yeah, so this next pick's pretty interesting. I went with Drudagon. Now, I loved using this Pokemon last generation. I actually used it to get to, like, you know, top 100 in UU in Gen 8. It's got a really interesting toolkit. You know, surprisingly decent physical bulk, right? This ends up being 358 HP, 306 attack. Like, that's nothing to sneeze at. Or you could go special bulk, you know, either way, it's equally bulky on both sides. Rough Skin plus Rocky Helmet is amazing, or you can go Mold Breaker if you're afraid of Magic Bounce, like, you know, Stealth Rock, Taunt, Dragon Tail, gets Sucker Punch, right? Yeah, it gets Sucker Punch, Toxic, just so many amazing options, and I think I confess, this will not be coming... I would be surprised if it comes to half of my matches, but I think its niche will be... it's going to have a very real niche in some of these matchups. It's definitely going to have to be considered in the team builder. And, you know... Oh, also Glare, like... Because, like, it works on ground types, which is cool as fuck. But yeah. And, you know, hey, you know, bulky lead also has really solid attack stat. I mean, the only problem is its low speed, so, I mean, trying to use taunt with it can be annoying, but, hey, you want to break down bulkier teams, this guy ain't half bad. But yeah, next up is Doublade. Now, I don't remember my rationale too much about why I drafted this. For the record, like, I finished up my drafting, like, we did our drafting as of recording this over the course of the past, like, week and a half. So, it's fairly fresh on my mind why exactly I drafted these, but, yeah, I mean, Doublade is very bulky with Eviolite. I mean, right, this hits 538 defense, you know, if you want to run Fizz Def and just be absolutely unfucking killable. Or you can run Spidef, which, you know, after Eviolite is still quite bulky, you know, 216 that turns to, what is that, 324. I wouldn't say this has a ton of options, but, you know, just Sword Stance or, does it get Pursuit? Yeah, it does. You know, just Sword Stance with Substitute ideas or, you know, whatever. Really cool. You know, it's pretty hard to stop from setting up, unless you have very specific mons, and even then, like sometimes it could be tough. Like if I get behind a sub on a switch or something, then I can just start ripping through your team. Like, say you switch to a ground type, like you can click Sacred Sword to Shadow Sneak, and boom, I've taken 65-70% off your Pokemon before you've even damaged me, right? Substitute. And its attack stat is actually quite good, so Swords Dance is a very real idea, right? 110 is absolutely not bad at all. It's got quite an interesting stat spread, but I think it could be interesting. There's also a guy running Rillaboom plus Sneasler, and this mon is going to counter the fuck out of it, and I don't care what anyone says. The guy also has Aegislash, which I think is really funny. I'm pretty sure I'm playing. Yeah. Because the way the league's set up, I'm not going to end up playing everyone. Because it's 8 weeks and there's 12 people, so I'm not going to be playing everyone. I think I'm playing the guy that has Rillaboom Sneasler. But yeah. Like, look at this shit. Like, why would this not come? But he does have Aegislash, and that's going to make it so much better. I'm going to ask if we can just, like, gentleman's agreement, I bring Doublade, you bring Aegislash. That'd be sick. But whatever. Yeah, so next up I picked Chansey. This is... Now, in my draft, I was going to say I have no returning members from Season 1, but technically, I had Chansey in Season 1, but I dropped it for Mousehold the second grace period started. Like, the second we were able to make trades, I was like, yeah, I'm not keeping Chansey, just give me fucking Mousehold. Like, I literally, like, the second grace period dropped. It was funny. But yeah. Because it's Nandex, it gets Wish, because it doesn't get it in Gen 9, because there's no way to transfer it from Gen 3 to Gen 9, but you can get the Gen 3 event Chansey into Gen 8. I don't know the specifics, but yeah, Wish Chanseys will be from like a 2003 event or something, like nowhere else. But yeah, Chansey, very baller. There's not much to be explained, right? I could run a Calm Mindset if I really wanted to. I don't know if I will, but it could be really funny. But I mean, come on, bulky Wish Passer. Chansey's the one for the job, right? Debatably with Alomomola and Screamtail, whatever, but I mean, I could set up rocks, spread, T-Wave, use Aromatherapy. Like, this thing gets so many moves, it's actually kind of crazy. Base 35 special attack, I mean, hey, if there's a 4 times weak mon to, like, fire or something, hey, I'll slot on Flamethrower, why not? But yeah, so Chansey, I quite like it here. I think it fits in nicely, because I think a good draft team should have a Wish Passer. Because, if Draft League is all about counter-teaming the other person, you want to have that safety net for if something unexpected happens. You want to have that bailout, and I think Wish support really does provide that quite well. Yeah, I think it provides a nice glue for the team with some of the ideas I have going on, because not a lot of these mons have recovery. I mean, the first Gliscor and Scizor do, Rotom-Wash kinda, then you get down here, it's like, well, not really, but yeah, Alakazam was my next pick, just because the main idea behind this pick was I wanted something fast and something to hit hard on the special side, and I thought Alakazam could be good. It wasn't terribly expensive, it was only 12 points, which was fairly inexpensive, although we were given 10 less points than last season, which is which is a change I don't agree with at all, especially if you're like changing to Mantics. Like, come on. But yeah, Magic Guard. Don't even need to run. Well, I can run Focus Sash. That is to say, Calm Mind Ideas, right? Or I could run Specs if I wanted to. Like Alakazam, everyone knows what this thing does, right? Fast, strong, Psychic type, really good move pool. Gets a surprising amount of physical options too, like Knockoff, like Foul Play. You could use those. I mean, no one's using Knockoff because of how much damage it does. You're using it because it removes an item. With Foul Play, right? It's Alakazam's attack doesn't matter, right? So, if I bring like Substitute, Calm Mind, well, I guess at that point I probably won't be able to fit Foul Play or Knockoff, but I mean, hey, like this, I feel like this mon can definitely pull its weight. I'm glad I picked it up. This is what, like round 9, I think. But yeah, it's really solid speed tier. I did need the speed control because look at what I had. This is a bit of a bulkier draft compared to what people normally do. People normally like to go more offensive with their drafts. I draft how I build, right? This is bulky offense, purely, through and through. But yeah, my next pick was Exploud. Not a ton of reason behind this. Honestly, I knew I was getting Phalanx, and at that point I only had 5 points left, so I figured I'd pick up Exploud. It can be a really nice wall breaker with Boom Burst. Obviously, anyone who's played Gen 8 NU knows how fucking dangerous this thing can be in the right circumstances. I mean, obviously in a context where a whole host of Pokemon are allowed, then it's not as good. But I think there's some cool ideas. It gets insane coverage, Overheat, Blizzard, Surf, Boom Burst. I could have made this my Terra Captain if I wanted to for Terra Normal Boom Burst, but unfortunately it's held back by its speed. So getting it on the field, really making use of the Terra is far easier said than done. That said, I do like it. It's got a surprisingly decent HP stat, and for what it wants to do, I mean, Specs Boom Burst, come on. Specs stat Boom Burst, 91 special attack is all you need, alright? I'm calling it now. This thing's going to put in work in at least 2 matches. I might be a bit optimistic, but I think it's got a lot of potential. Oh, yeah, did I mention Scrappy? Like, come on. Boom Burst hitting ghost types. Like, that's just cool as fuck. But yeah. And so I got the boys. There were 3 points. So hey, there's no sense not picking them up. I mean, what can I say? No retreat. Great moves. And I made it my Terra Captain. Fighting Steel and cuts off there, but Ghost. Yeah. Defiance really is full of someone decides to bring Sticky Web. I don't know if anyone puts Sticky Web on their draft, but I know there's definitely some Intimidate users with, Landorus running around and stuff like that. But, yeah. I think with no retreat, might I add, plus Terra Ghost, if I Terra Ghost plus no retreat, I can switch. Like, I can just get an Omni Boost for free and not have to worry about, being trapped in there. Alright, I think that's really cool. This thing can hit fairly hard. It's got decent bulk. It's nothing special, but, but yeah. I mainly just did this because, last season I drafted Electros because I really enjoy it, and I think it can do some cool stuff. And I kind of want to keep that going. It's just like getting mons that I think are just getting mons I like, just mons that are my favorite, right? And this is, I mean, not that I don't like, I think Gliscor is cool. I think, I think Alakazam's kind of cool. Like, just design-wise, I like most of these mons, by and large. But Phalanx, I mean, come on, the boys, right? Battle Armor's also really cool if you, if I decide to run like a bulkier set with like, leftovers, right? I don't have to worry about crit, which could be useful. I don't know if I'll bring that ever, but yeah. So, Phalanx is my last pick. Honestly, I feel really good about this draft. The back half is a bit unconventional, but I don't think, aside from maybe Exploud, any of these mons are bad. Even Dredagon. I think these are all, at the very least, decent picks. And I think now that I actually have a decent draft, I won't be stifled anymore. I won't be held back. I won't be nerfed. I'll be able to actually, I'll have drafts that are as threatening on paper as everyone else's, right? Because last season it just seemed like, my mons weren't bulky enough or my mons weren't powerful enough. But now I think I definitely have that, Chance is going to be especially bulky enough. Doublade's going to be physically bulky enough. Scizor is going to hit hard enough. Gliscor is going to, facilitate, field conditions well enough. Right, Dugtrio is going to be able to revenge kill well enough. I think the caliber of mons is just better overall. I guess there is something to be said about stacking types. I have 2 ground types and 2 water types, but I mean, Rotom-Wash and Tentacruel, you can go either way, but I think they're different enough to distinguish themselves. But I mean, Dugtrio and Gliscor, leagues different from each other, so it's not like I just got 2 of the same mon and wasted my points. But I'm really looking forward to this. Once again, hoping to win the entire thing. To all of you plebeians who are for some reason watching this, you may laugh now, but I keep my goals lofty for a reason. All right. I do this for a reason. I'm not just being a stupid, dumb idiot who says he wants to win because he's just so ambitious, too ambitious for his own good. There's a reason. There's a method to my madness. But yeah. Also, I was playing on the ladder and I somehow made Magnezone my background, and I thought it was really fucking hilarious. So I decided to keep it. And I don't know how to replicate that, so he's staying here until I figure out how to replicate it. But yeah, see you later.